Well, good evening, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, this literally does not work. So, here's the deal. The Cowboys are having their first OTA practices that are open to the media. That's great news. So, we have some good news and we got some bad news. Okay, and then we've got just news in general. Um, the bad news: Amari Cooper had ankle surgery. As soon as the season was over, I think within like a week, week and a half, he had basically, a clean out on his ankle. Okay, and you know that Amari Cooper has been dealing with plantar fasciitis, off and on his whole career, so he's always had some issues. One thing about Amari Cooper, though, is he seems to play through those injuries and so on. And you can kind of understand with him being kind of like that. He's like almost like an off-road dude. I mean, the way he cuts and digs and everything else, you can understand his body breaking down a little bit there, which may be one of the reasons why, of course, they did not use his contract to restructure. Because here's at least the good news as far as the Cowboys go. If Amari Cooper isn't, and this is one of those things that I go back to where everybody's always saying, trade Michael Gallup, man, fix the defense with Michael Gallup. It's like, you know what? Pump the brakes on that one. Because Amari Cooper, the good thing for the Cowboys is after this season, his contract, it's not guaranteed anymore. They can basically walk away from his contract and not have to pay him anything. Unlike what the Atlanta Falcons are dealing with Julio Jones. They've got 3 years left on his contract at about $15 million a pop, and they look at that and say there's diminishing returns from him. So that's the issue there. I don't think that this is any big deal because, quite frankly, it's only May. So don't read into a whole lot about little injuries here and there because this is just OTAs. If this were the beginning of training camp, I'd be more concerned. Now, the good news: Dak Prescott, my quarterback, my teammate, my leader. And if you say something about him, it's not fair. It's not fair. Don't say nothing about my man Dak Prescott. Seriously. The great news is according to the media, is he's going to practice, that he's in practice, and we just think about 226 days ago having that devastating injury that people were saying he may never come back from. And I kept telling you, dudes, realize that Alan Hearns had the same injury in January and started the season in Miami week one. Dak's had a whole lot more time to heal. And they were talking about Dak Prescott actually in practice rolling out with no ill effects. None. Zero. Zilch. Which is great news because you think about guys like Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes actually had surgery on his turf toe. And I know what a lot of you think about turf toe. Turf toe? What the hell is turf toe? It sounds like a wussy injury. I ain't gonna lie to you. Turf toe hurts. And turf toe can be actually pretty devastating. Have you ever jammed your finger? Have you? Where you've literally gotten your finger jammed in there and how when you try and move it, it hurts really bad? Okay. The problem with turf toe is it's the same principle. You have literally jammed your toe into your foot. And the problem is unlike your finger that you're just trying to move a little bit here and you're like, oh, it's stiff, it's sore. You use that toe to push off. Every move you make, when you're throwing that football, you are pushing on that toe, and you're talking about excruciating pain, okay? It's one of those things that you don't think it's really bad, but trust me, it hurts. He's he's limited in practice right now. And one Tom Brady, who we heard had just kind of like a cleanup surgery on his knee, no big deal. We're just going to go through and clean up some stuff, and was thought to be no big deal. He is still not quite ready to be a full go at practice either. So the fact that Dak Prescott had that devastating leg injury, that ankle that was literally just broken in two, I mean, it's hard to even think about. The fact that he's rolling out in practice, you do know. You do know you just sped past the speed limit sign. It's at 25. Okay, there are kids in this neighborhood, jackass. And stay off my lawn while you're at it. It's not my lawn, but stay off of it. You know I'm old and grumpy. So the fact that he's actually out there practicing, not a game, not a game. Now we talking about practice, and rolling out. Rolling out, that's a lot of, I mean, that's literally stop and go, okay? Snapping the ball, going in one direction, stopping, and then having to throw off of it. That, my friends, is a whole lot of stress on there. And if he's doing that, now I know he's not having 300-pound linemen falling on him on top of it. So I get that. But we still have months before that happens. And hopefully, the fact that we have Tyron Smith, Tyrannosaurus, and La'el Collins both out there, that bodes really, really well for the Dallas Cowboys. And see, here's the thing that I like. We have, I believe, 33 players that are on a contract year. You know, I'm one of those guys that believe in making people uncomfortable. That you have to worry about your job makes you focus more on your job. When you know, I'm the big man on campus and there's nothing they can do about it, you tend to relax, kind of like I'm doing right now. I ain't got no boss here right now. They ain't seeing what I'm doing. I'm not going to lose my job. I might just sit here and go to sleep. But when you know your job is on the line, that you are auditioning for next year's job, you tend to have a sense of urgency. And I think we're going to have a lot of guys that have a sense of urgency because they want to get that second contract. It sucks. I'll be the first one to say it. It sucks that you have no job security when it comes to being an NFL player. We all think, oh man, I want to be a football player. Dudes, did you see what happened to Dak Prescott's ankle? Amari Cooper at the point where, it's off season, we'll get a couple of surgeries because that's routine maintenance. You think about the pain pills and the medication that they got to take, the ice baths and all that. It ain't quite as glamorous as you think. Yeah, if you make it, it can be good money. But you got to think about what you're doing to yourself. But my original point was talking about guys that are uncomfortable, that are definitely working on holding on to their job. Connor Williams, who has quietly, last year, he was one of our better offensive linemen. Not as good as Zach Martin, but quietly has been getting better and better. It's a contract year for him. And so the incentive is to play lights out and to get that next contract. So I'm done doing my work. I'm waiting for my wife to get back with my father-in-law's prescription so we can head on up the road and I can get back to the man cave and do some more work. But as always, you know the deal. We're going to keep you up to speed no matter where I am. I'm Mark Holmes, and I'll see you soon.